tell you a story that I think about very often. I think it was told to me by Rabbi Pliskin. He spoke about how he went to visit the Jerusalem Zoo once, and as he walked through the gates, he saw on the floor a small boy lying on the floor, and he was screaming his head off, and he was crying his eyes out, and he was punching the floor with his fists, and he was kicking the ground, and he was yelling at the top of his lungs, "I want to see the zebras! I want to see the zebras!" And his poor parents were standing next to him and wringing their hands. They didn't know where to look. It was a little embarrassing. There was a crowd that started standing around, watching this fuss. And they were trying to soothe him, and they're trying to say, "Look, honey, the zebras are all the way at the back of the zoo. If you just come with us now and calm down, you can see the penguins, you can see the monkeys, you can see the beautiful parrots, and then eventually we'll get to the zebras and you'll be happy." But the boy wasn't having any of it. He just continued to scream and cry, "I want to see the zebras." The reason why I think about this story so often is because all of us have many moments in which we're screaming, "I want to see the zebras." Especially now in this coronavirus lockdown, we know that there are many, many people, family and friends, who would love to go and visit. We'd love to go to their houses. We'd love to invite them to ours. We'd love to go and visit places and see things around us. We'd love to leave our homes. But we know that our role right now is to stay at home and save lives. But how do we respond to that role? Do we lie on the ground and kick and scream and just can't think of anything else other than, "I want to see those zebras"? Or do we pause? Do we recognize that actually Hashem has a different plan for us right now, and let's just make the most of seeing the monkeys, seeing the penguins, admiring the beautiful birds? How do we react to this coronavirus lockdown? Do we scream, "I want to see the zebras," or do we take this opportunity and make the most of it? When we count the Omer, we don't just say Yom Echad, Yom Shtayim. We don't just say day 1, day 2, day 3. We have an extra word. We say Hayom Yom Echad. Today is the first day. Today is the second day. With that extra word, we are accepting that Hashem has given us today, this particular moment, this particular set of circumstances in this environment, with this set of friends and families, with this strength that we have, with this personality that we were given, this particular unique moment, and it's going to be like no other. And this is what we have to make count. When I was younger, when I was in school, I came from a divorced home, and my mum brought me and my siblings up by herself for many years. And in my class, there were maybe 1 or 2 other kids who also came from divorced homes, but in the main, everybody lived with their mum and dad. And I remember looking around at the other students and thinking to myself, wouldn't it be great if I came from a home in which there was a mum and a dad and my parents weren't divorced? Many years later, my teacher, Rav Mordechai Miller, told me that when we're younger, we kind of hate our differences. We get annoyed by them. Why can't I just be the same as everybody else? Why do I have to be different? But when we're older, and in the future, when we leave this world and we go to Olam Haba, the world to come, we're going to look back and we're actually going to love our differences. We're going to see them as diamonds. Because the more different we are, the more unique is our role and the tools with which we can serve Hashem. So we're going to look back and we're going to love those differences, and we're even going to wish that we were even more different than we are. So this year, when we count the Omer, let's all say to ourselves, Hayom. This was not where we expected to be, this was not where we hoped we'd be, but guess what? This is exactly where Hashem would like us to be. So let's count our days, Hayom Yom Echad, with all the tools and resources and environment that you have given me, Hashem. I'm going to take it all today, in this moment, make the most of it, be grateful and appreciate it, and use it to serve you, Hashem, best. Let's not just count the days of the Omer. Let's all make sure that we're going to make those days really and truly count.